And
Good afternoon. My name is Diana Thompson, and I am currently a kindergarten teacher at the Akwesasne Mohawk School in Akwesasne, Ontario. And I'm also enrolled in an online course at the moment, and the course is called Kindergarten Part 1, and it's through Queen's Continuing Teacher Education program. And this week's assignment, I am asked to talk about and show an outdoor inquiry space that is really important to me. And so I chose to show you my yard space at my home. And I'm going to show you, along with my children, Adrian and Liam, everything that we discover each day. So we're going to start with the garden right here. This is one of the garden beds that we have in this space. And what's really fun about this garden is watching it grow every year. Last year, these plants that are perennials, which are plants that come back every year on their own, they are bigger than last year, especially these plants right here, which are called elephant ears. And after some thought, I've discovered that we don't have as many Japanese beetles in the yard this year. So last year they were eating a lot of the plants, and I find they're not here. So I've discovered that could probably be the reason why the plants are looking so great. So next we're gonna come over here, and I'm gonna show you this space right here. This is a rock, and we have a lot of garter snakes that like to slither around the rock. I'll show you a picture of one of the garter snakes. We have a lot of these in our yard, and my husband discovered after mowing the lawn that he finds a lot of them in the ditch where it is wet and lots of frogs. So we find new babies around the yard, and they're pretty cute. So now we're gonna come over here. Would you like to explain what we discovered here a few months ago?
A couple of months ago, we found a baby turtle lying down right here early in the morning. And what we saw was a cut face and a cut shell.
And what was the size of the turtle?
The size of the turtle was probably a loony, the size of a loony.
So what did we do with the turtle?
So then first we put it in a shoebox, and then what we decided to do is go to PetSmart, and there's a guy that worked there that worked at environment work, and a couple hours later he walked on our porch and took him to his environment work.
Oh, good. So then we were very happy that the turtle was saved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. So now we're going to move over to this area. What's really cool about this area is that we have a lot of birds around here. And last year we had a nest in here. And here's a picture, a close-up picture of the nest right in there. And there were little blue eggs, so they were robin eggs. And what we noticed though after a while is that the eggs went missing. So Liam, did you want to explain how we came to the conclusion of what happened to the birds?
Sure. So what happened? I saw the little blue eggs the other day, and then the next day they were gone, and the nest was half destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go look over there. It must have been a raccoon, owl, or like a fox, and and I could tell they're trying to get away from it. And because there's 4 baby birds, and they're like trying to get over there, but then all the baby birds were laying on the ground dead. Like 2 of them were like had like blood all over them, but the first one was like the first one to hatch. And because I saw one of them hatch and it fell down the one that had like a little stripe.
Okay, so
But the only one that got away was the robin, the mom.
right. So now we have birdhouses in our backyard, which I'll show you in a minute, where we find that it's a safe place for the birds to have their babies because the nests are up high. So now we're gonna come over here, and here's some more photos of our garden, our flower garden. And here's a tree that Liam and I planted last year. And as you can see, the leaves are turning brown. They are brown. And, we thought about, what could be possibly causing this. So we also noticed that there's holes in the leaves of the hostas. So it looks like there's a little critter that is possibly eating the hostas and possibly chewing away on this plant. So after researching on helpfulgardener.com, which is a great website if you have any questions about gardening, is they suggested to plant oregano and thyme around, this is the oregano, this is the thyme, around the plants or trees that you want to keep the critters away from. And so far, it seems like it's not getting any worse. So we'll just have to wait and see and see what happens. So now we're gonna come over here. This is really interesting. We've noticed in here is this flat space. You can see that the grass is all flat as if something is laying in there. And based on our prior knowledge of the behavior of deer, we think that the deer are coming in here and sleeping at night. And as if you go over here, you can see right above the plant, there's another flat space for the deer. And in the wintertime, as you can see along these cedar trees, that the bottom looks like it's been eaten. It's not as full. Well, that's because the deer in the wintertime, they come around here and they eat the cedar. So what we're gonna have to do to solve this problem is prior to this upcoming winter, we're gonna have to put burlap all around here to prevent the deer from eating the cedars. All right, so let's come back here. Here we're gonna actually see the bird houses. Got a lot of the robins like to make nests in, and the blue jays. So here's a birdhouse right here, and the birds are not in there anymore. So we're nearing the end of the season. We're gonna have to clean this out and make it nice for the next season when the birds lay their eggs in there as well. And if you look over there, you can see another birdhouse that's way up high. And there's actually birds that are still living in there. And here's a new garden that we put together this summer. It's our new experiment. And Liam, would you like to talk about what kinds of vegetables and flowers we have in our garden?
So usually I planted this for myself, or I can have my own garden. So
And what did you plant?
So right here is beans, peas that really grow fast, tomatoes and cucumbers right here, and there's sunflowers, and these are stuff that the yellow stuff that keep the plant, to keep the bugs away. This is basil right here, and or like flowers down there. and not a lot of Japanese beetles come usually around here, but there's one right here.
So what do we do?
And there's two of them. That's just the one that fell and flew away.
And after doing some research on how to keep the bugs away from the vegetable garden, there's this really great book that my mother bought for me. It's called Gardening with Children, and it is written by Monica Hanneman, Patricia Hulse, Brian Johnson, Barbara Curlin, and Tracy Patterson. And there's a lot of good tips on here on how to keep the bugs away and how to build a nice healthy raised garden bed. And I also like to refer to this magazine right here. It's called Mother Earth News, and this is from May 13, 2019. There's a lot of great tips on here on how to maintain a healthy garden as well. So we'll now move on to over here, and this is our field. It's not ours, but it belongs to a farmer, and since we've been living here, there's been soy planted, there's been corn that has been planted as well, and this is really cool. This is where we see tons of wildlife. We see coyotes, we see deer, we see hawks, we see turkey vultures, and what else do we see, boys?
We usually see some. One time we saw a moose.
I did see a moose.
It was a moose. It was heading right for the city in Ontario, and it was right in the backyard. If we didn't hear about this, they actually shot it, but most of you probably heard about it. And there's also, and one time we saw a snowy owl sitting right at the gate.
The snowy owl. And here's a close-up of the deer. We actually see a lot of deer. They come right up to this fence, especially in the winter time, and they're really beautiful to see. So now, if we come over here, you can see those telephone poles. That's where we see, last year we've seen some hawks up there. And boys, why do you think the hawk stayed around this area so much last year? What was the hawk hunting?
One time,
Mostly squirrels.
Squirrels. And one time it was usually sat up here. And one time there's like a little squirrel or like a critter in there, or like a chipmunk. Then it was looking right at it. Then it was like way up on the tree, and it pounced right at it and killed it. Even I saw some of the fur, and the whole critter fell right off. And another reason why it was here, there's a groundhog. The groundhog was in the ditch on the other field, and while we were taking pictures of the hawk, he tried to go at it, but it was too late.
And now, why don't you tell why you have this antler in your hand?
And why I have this antler in my hand is because in the field, sometimes my father will go out and find some antlers.
Yeah, very good. And what does he do for a hobby?
He draws on stuff like moose shoulders, moose and deer antlers, and buffalo skull.
Yeah, and he gets a lot of his inspiration from the wildlife that he sees in our own backyard. So that's pretty cool. Also, what is very important to mention is this plant right here. Now, this started to grow really high as of last year, and we didn't know what it was. But when we went to the wildlife center in Saranac Lake, I bought a brochure on poisonous plants, and this was actually one of the poisonous plants, and this is called parsnip, and this is very poisonous, and if you touch it, you'll end up getting a rash on different parts of your body. So we are definitely going to have to cut this down, but you need to be very cautious when you're around parsnip. So now we're going to take a walk over here. Show you this hole right here. This is where our groundhog likes to live. And he has many entrances to that spot. Oh, and look at that. What do we see right now hopping around in the ground? I thought I saw something in here. It looked like a frog. He was moving. It must have went right underneath the porch. Maybe we will see it again. But Liam, would you like to talk about our groundhog and tell what our groundhog's name is?
So one time, me and Agent named it, but Agent got the name and he didn't. But like last month, 2 months ago, I named it, but then he didn't know.
So what is his name?
His name's Gilbert.
Yeah, and this is a picture of Gilbert. He likes to hang out on our deck and look at the cat. And let's show everyone where Gilbert likes to go.
So wait, can we start here? So
Okay.
that's a hole where Gilbert likes to go, and there's another hole, but that's the one that you put as well. There's like another one there. There's one here, but there's one, but it grew up. There's three. There's one like there's a huge one right there, and there's a huge one there. There's one right there.
Yep.
And he has a big hole on top of the porch. And you might be afraid, like you might be like under there. You might be doing damage to the house.
Let's go show you.
So and there's a hole in here. There's a hole right there. A hole right there. And he goes behind here. There's a hole right there. And one time I even like stepped outside just to sit right here. Then he was like right next to me and he jumped right off. And there's another time I was walking from that path there. That's where like the holes were. Right when I stepped onto the grass, his head was out. His nose and his head was out of the of the hole right there.
Yeah.
And he's sniffing or
And in
something.
here we have strawberries, and we feel that the groundhog really likes strawberries because when we find strawberries inside here, we notice that half of them are gone. So can you tell what we did to prevent the groundhog from coming to eat the strawberries? What did we add?
So the first time we added wooden sticks to keep it away, but then I found some stuff sitting here, and we're wondering how to get it out. So I put them in here.
Fence, yeah, to keep them out. Yeah, and what does this little owl do?
This owl is not a real one, if you even think it's one, but it's a fake owl. No, if you usually go to like the Tim Hortons out in the city where Cornwall is, if you look on the top, they might be like 4 owls there to keep the crows away, and this actually works for groundhogs and little critters too.
Do you feel like it's keeping the groundhog away?
Yes, but the plastic fences are probably keeping it more
Yeah,
away.
I feel like it is too because as I look at these strawberries, what do you notice about the strawberries? Are
So-
they bit into or?
Yes, and there's one, even me and Oldie earlier, we found a strawberry. We got the hose, we were washing it off, but then what I found on the ground too over here, Oldie kicked it into that tree.
Okay.
Oldie kicked it into that tree earlier, and he got stuck in there, and half of it was bit.
Wow. Would you like to talk about that we discovered? Show.
So what
That
happened?
is.
So what happened? My agent and my dad, they found a dead bird. They found like an
Injured bird.
injured bird. They found an injured bird on the porch because it hit that window there. So and he came as fast as he can just to see what it was. Then I heard it from the front yard. Then I ran here. Then then he was injured. Then Hunter came over.
So what did you guys do to save the bird?
We put it in a bird fountain on the cloth, and then the next day he was like dying really quick. Then Hunter came over from over there. He
And
lives up on the street over
Yeah.
there. But that's when he moved to that house with the red roof and the white body of the house. And he moved like 3 houses down across the road.
Yeah. And then what did you do with the bird?
We put it in the bird fountain, but then me and Hunter went to go check. Then it was dying. Then we went in the front yard inside to tell agent. And then Asian didn't want to come. So what happened? We went back to there. It was dead.
It was, okay. So now we're gonna go back to the front of the house. Here's actually one of my husband's art pieces. It's drying right now, but this is one of his artwork that's done with pen and ink, and that picture is actually inspired by a photo that he took at the Toronto Zoo. Of my yard space. Thank you so much for joining us in looking at all the cool stuff that we see in our yard every day. And definitely my environmental awareness has been raised tremendously since living here, and this outdoor space has contributed to my spiritual health and my well-being. I actually complete most of my schoolwork outside on the back deck or on the front porch, just because I find it so peaceful and relaxing and just very easy to concentrate. So I definitely suggest going into the outdoors and exploring and discovering the world